I think I was surprised, first of all, when I joined the program committee, that there really weren't, the annual meeting didn't have a theme that we'd all come around together, and there weren't tracks of important issues. And so that's one of the things I think this program committee really embraced, was that while it's important to network and get to know other funders, it's also important to learn. And so that we really wanted to create the highest quality, richest learning experience we could. And that's what I loved, is everybody, it's that collective impact notion, is that collectively we have a tremendous amount of resources in terms of people, experts, good ideas. And so that's what I'm excited about this year, is that I think, and people have told me that, know I was on the program committee, and said the quality this year was tremendous. And we actually, and I think the other kind of bias we had as a group was it had to be things that worked. There had to be evidence to say, if you invest in this, it actually produces good results. And so I think that's been another, I'm not saying every presentation had that bent to it, but I think there's more of that, which I think is, really, it's what would bring me here and keep me going. For me, in our work, the work is the magnitude, the problems are so huge that we have to partner with other funders and partners. And so the Southeastern Council and Foundation was a way for me to get to know the local funders in Atlanta, build relationships, build trust. So it was like, without it, I would have had to do that one by one, or use friends who were foundation directors. This makes this whole process, it just really creates that opportunities for me to get to know other funders in a way that just expedites that whole process. Well, I think Janine is absolutely the right person. I mean, I've just seen, she's been like a breath of fresh air. She's brought, she's just a strong person with lots of vision. So I think we got the right leader. I think that what I would love to see SECF is take on some of those tough issues. I think, educate, and the issues that that Southeastern Foundations fund are all important. I mean, I don't want to, I think the investments and the contributions they made are huge. But, we commonly get, people make the comment when they hear what we're doing, they say, well, we really love what you're doing, but it's too hard for us. And what I want to say is, let's take on some of those hard issues. Let's take a few. I mean, I'm not saying take them all on, because they are hard and they take a long time to accomplish. But let's take on poverty. It's one of those things that we actually can make a difference. We can reduce or eliminate poverty. In the South is, this is the highest concentration of kids living in poverty is in the South. It's the one we ought to take on, and let's stick to it for more than 1 year. Let's make it a 3 to 5 year initiative. And what we've been trying to do at this conference is giving people, it's not, it's not impossible to do this. So let's do that. I think people confuse the two. They think that, foundations are charitable organizations, and they are. I mean, actually, under the IRS code, they are charitable organizations. Charity to me it's something that we're doing for families that need our help. I think philanthropy is leading instead of doing. I think it's, it's in terms of setting, creating a vision, creating a set of results that are important, developing leaders and community assets. Charities, I think, it's more of a deficit model where poor people or, sick kids or, where we're, doing something for them. And I think charity, I think foundations really are being more proactive and trying to get ahead of issues before they become problems. Well, I mean, that's exactly who we should be able to respond to, is the kids and the families that we serve. And we say that, we're the foundation. I mean, our mission, our whole reason for being is to improve the lives of the nation's most vulnerable kids and families. And that's what we're about. It's around, and I actually call it closing the opportunity gap. It's really, our job is to level the playing field, give the kids and families, that 8-year-old is to give him, it shouldn't be so hard for him to be ready for school, to succeed in school, to graduate from high school. That's what we want to do. We want to actually make it possible and not so hard for him so he can be launched as a successful adult. It's too hard for him right now in the set of neighborhoods we work in. The way I feel about it, it is such an important responsibility to manage and to invest the wealth that foundations have so that kids and families and communities are better off. So for me, the way I feel is that, to whom much is given, much is required. And so it's really that, what I feel is this, and I always feel it every day, every single day as a funder, is that I wake up in the morning and I go to bed at night. Is anybody better off as a result of this amazing wealth that Jim Casey created? And so that's what I think about, is this stewardship, is that, we've got to make sure that this wealth that's been created, that's been set up in this foundation, is actually doing amazing, wonderful things. Oh, I have that story. And I hope I can tell it without crying, because it's that powerful. We spent 3 years building the highest quality learning complex we could, because we really felt like that's another way to level the playing field, is that we had the best school in the city. And the day it opened, I was downstairs in the Early Learning Center. And I noticed there was a grandmother out in the parking lot, an older woman, and she was sobbing. And I, of course, I ran out there just to see. And I said, I introduced myself and I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "I've lived in this neighborhood all my life, and I'm now raising my grandchildren, and I never thought I'd live to see a school like this for my children and my grandchildren." And she said, she hugged me and she sobbed and she said, "This is going to change their lives." So that was the moment. Well, it's kind of, I think what I would want to, the most important thing I'd want people to remember is that that the driving force for me was whatever issue we took on, that we improved conditions for kids and families, no matter what it was, whether it was talking about education or workforce or housing, that our whole approach was that at the end of the day, things were better. And that drove us, that was our driving force that was my driving force every single day. That because I actually, I thought, if I'm given this incredible opportunity and this access to this deep wealth, then I have got to be able to be accountable to the community in which we're working in, that they actually see the community and their kids and their neighbors better off. It was just a driving force from day one.